I encouraged you last video to spend more time in your silence, spend more time by yourself with your own thoughts, with no distractions. And if you do that for long enough, and I hope you did try that out, eventually you'll be comfortable with who you are, if you're not already. Once you get comfortable with who you are, that's where the strength really hits you. That's where you really get that power. You get powerful in that. You have to have that certain presence. You have to get that presence, and you can only get that presence if you are okay with who you are when you're by yourself. One of the most important things that matters on this planet is how you feel about yourself when you're by yourself. You can only do those things if, of course, you sit in silence. You sit with your own thoughts. You sit with your brain. Your brain is going to throw a lot of things at you, like I said in the video before this. This is kind of the last part to this kind of alone mini-series type deal. I've been really thinking about this week and focusing on this week. You're not just enjoying your solitude just for the sake of enjoying your solitude, if you do enjoy it. Because like I've been saying, a lot of people don't enjoy it, which I think is a problem. You got to learn how to really enjoy being by yourself. You got to enjoy your own company, because that's something that's really important for you to do. It's a real healthy thing for you to do. But you're not doing this just for the sake of doing it. You're doing this so you can find that grounding with yourself. So when you go out into the real world and you do things in the world, you have a certain presence, you have a certain aura. When you walk into a room, people feel it. When you walk into a room, it seems like you matter, because you actually do matter when you're grounded in yourself. But doing that work in solitude is going to be able to propel you forward in so many different areas. You're going to be so much more confident. You're going to be able to hold eye contact better, have deeper connections with other humans. You won't feel like a lifeless vessel that's running around. There's a lot of people walking around nowadays that feel like zombies when you talk to them. They feel like zombies when you interact with them. It's like there's nothing going on in their head. It's like there's nothing going on in how they feel. They don't have any feelings. They don't know how to connect with people. They don't know how to hold a conversation with people. I'm sure you experienced this for sure. You try to have a conversation with somebody, especially if it's strangers, especially when you have to interact with strangers. A lot of them don't even really know how to hold a conversation like that. It's kind of scary. It's a lost art nowadays, and you can really regain some of that by sitting in your solitude and really figuring out who you are and who you need to be. I'm sure you have some goals, We all have goals. We all have things we want to do, but do you actually sit with them? Do you actually really sit with your goals in a quiet room and really think them through? Like, envision yourself in that position you want to be in, fully embody it. Close your eyes, fully put yourself in the shoes of your future self, where you achieve the goals you wanted to achieve. You're, for example, in that house you wanted to be in, or you're driving the car you wanted to be in. And it doesn't have to be materialistic like those things, or material items like those things, but those are a part of your life and things that you will change when you hit goals, for the most part. Picture your family, how you want your family to be, the kind of family you want to create, the type of things you want to do, the type of trips you want to go on, the passions you really want to really flush out, the passions you really want to get to the bottom of, and really learn these things and go deep in these things and enrich these things and these passions and these hobbies that you really want to dive into. It could be you never got to play guitar growing up. You never got to really sit down and learn, and you really want to make that a goal and make that something that you're good at in the future, or something bigger, like something financial. You want to get your credit to a certain range. Let's say you want to get your credit to the mid 700s because you never have before. So you got to really sit there and think about these things and think about where you want to be and how you want to get there. And it's really good to do that in silence and really embody that stuff and envision yourself in those situations, because it feels real. When you put yourself in those situations and you envision yourself in those things, your brain kind of thinks it's real in a way. You get a few dopamine spikes from that. You'll start to feel good from that. And it'll give you a spark to keep going and to keep doing things. You can do this every week or every few days or so, whatever. Write them down afterwards. Write them down on a notepad. Keep them up on your wall. Have a vision board or something like that. And always go back to them. Always be reminded of your goals and who you want to be and what you want to do soon and what you want to do in your life in general. This is going to change. Of course, we're humans. We're going to learn new things, experience new things, go through life, experience life. So not everything is going to be static all the time. But right now, today, after you watch this, sit with your thoughts and figure out all that stuff. Well, not figure it out, but really get a identity on it. Really envision it. That's you building a foundation in your solitude. That's what you should be doing in your solitude. You shouldn't be stewing on things from the past or being anxious about the future and doing things that aren't really going to benefit you. You should be trying to envision who you want to be, envision the things you want to do. And that's when you'll find the strength in the solitude. Because when you envision all those things, you will have that spark. You will want to work towards those things. You will want to actually make those things come true. And that's where that strength comes from. You're doing things every day to get to where you want to go. Because you will only move in the direction you want to go in based off the thoughts you have. So if you have positive thoughts and you have goals you want to hit and you have actually envisioned those things and put yourself in those shoes of your future self, you're way more likely to do the things you need to do to get to that point. Versus if you just stewed on things, or you were regretful about the past, or you didn't really even think about it to begin with, you were too busy doing other things, like just whatever you felt like doing in that moment, you're not gonna be more inclined to work on the things you need to work on. You're gonna be a lot more passive and a lot more apathetic towards those things if you don't really sit with them and you don't really find that in yourself. That's why I think it's so important to find that strength in that solitude. And you don't have to spend a whole bunch of time by yourself. You don't have to be in solitary confinement. You don't have to be on a 23-hour lockdown to find this stuff. Even if you did just 30 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, where you just sat with your thoughts and you thought about some things, you would be a lot better off. You would be more inclined to do certain things and take certain actions than if you just didn't do that and you were always filled with distractions. It's not good to fill your brain with distractions 24/7 all the time whenever you have some downtime. It's not good for you. Do your own research on it, of course. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a biologist. But it's not good for you. It can't be good for you. This stuff is new. All this technology is new. I'm sitting in front of a TV. It's off right now, but we didn't have these things. Humans didn't have these things until recently. Like the first TV came out maybe less than 100 years ago at this point. The internet is still fresh. The internet is barely 30 years old. We got this awesome AI stuff now. This stuff is pretty recent as far as it being consumable to us, to normal people, customers. It's not being used by mega corporations and things like that. But all this stuff is new, and it's not really good for us to be always distracted by these things all the time. So that's why when you're not consumed by these things all the time, you stand out. You're an outlier. And I know you are an outlier for sure. Or you want to be an outlier. Or you could outlie yourself in different ways. You can stand out in different ways. But it's super easy to do that when you're grounded. When you're okay with yourself, when you're by yourself. When you know who you are, you know where you want to go, and you know what you want to be. You have your own values. You have your own passions. You have things you love. You're building what you want to build. You spend your time how you want to spend your time. You enjoy your own company and you do the things you want to do. That's one of the main reasons why I'm on here as well, because I think it's really important for all of us to do what we want to do, which you are going to do that anyways, but we are swayed by others. We're swayed by society. And I encourage you to think a little bit outside of the box with those things. When somebody asks you to do something or tells you to do something or thinks you should do something, or society puts these things on you, question them, really get to the root of them, see if you'll enjoy it, see how you feel about these things. Don't just take what people say and take what society says and run with it, because you're only here one time. And when you get to that old age, hopefully you get to an old age and you look back on your life and you didn't do anything you wanted to do, that has to be one of the worst feelings on this planet. It has to be one of the worst feelings. So do what you want to do. Find that strength in that solitude, and you'll be able to move how you want to move and get to where you want to get to. Some other things you can do in that solitude, instead of you just staring at a wall, Of course, you hear about it all the time, but it's true. This stuff actually works. It's good for you. You can read something. You can journal a little bit. You can try to meditate a little bit. These things really keep you grounded, and they really keep you centered on earth. They reel your brain back in. I like to picture my brain like a fishing rod, kind of. Or imagine yourself using a fishing rod. And when you are distracted and doing your day-to-day things and you're letting yourself go and you're not really grounding yourself in that solitude, it's like you're holding your fishing rod and that fishing line is being dragged out further and further and further out into the ocean or the lake or wherever you're in, pond. And when you find that solitude and you get grounded and you figure out who you are and you let your brain talk to you without distractions, that's you holding that fishing rod and reeling in that line. You're reeling in that line, and then the strength is what you catch on that fishing line. Because if you never reel that line in, you'll never catch what's on the end of the line. If you never reel in your brain and reel in your thoughts and reel in who you are, you're never gonna catch the life you want. You're never gonna get to where you wanna go, because you're letting it get away from you all the time, because you're letting all these distractions get in the way and all the things you don't want to do get in the way. So find some solitude, and then you'll be able to find your strength. I wanted to keep it simple today. I was thinking about that again, this whole alone mini series. If you got this far, my name is TJ. Let me know down below if you're doing anything in your solitude and how you're finding your solitude in your own way. And also, if you are okay with your solitude and okay with being by yourself and all that, let me know what strength you found, because we're all going to find strength in different ways, in different areas. Whether it's financial, body, mind, just let me know what you find strength in or what you want to find strength in. Comment it down below. I want to talk about it. If you found this helpful at all, or any of my other videos helpful at all, consider hitting that like, consider subscribing. I'll be here making stuff for a little while. This is fun. It's cathartic, nice talking. So I'm out of here. I'll see y'all.